What happens to friendships after 70, and how to build a new circle. Friendship is one of those things we grow up believing will last forever. As children, we promise to stay in touch. As young adults, we believe certain people will walk with us through every chapter of our lives. And for a time it feels true. There are friends we laugh with, cry with, lean on, friends who help carry the weight of life's joys and sorrows. But as the years go by, life has a way of gently loosening those ties. People move away, priorities shift. Sometimes it's distance, sometimes it's difference, and sometimes it's simply the quiet passing of time. After 70, the landscape of friendship often looks very different than it once did. It's not unusual to find yourself looking around and realizing that the circle you once had has grown smaller, sometimes too small for comfort. It's a tender realization, one that brings with it a mix of emotions, gratitude for the memories, sadness for the distance, and sometimes a sharp loneliness that wasn't there before. You might find yourself wondering, is it supposed to feel this way? Is it too late to find new people who understand me? Here's the truth no one tells you. Friendship, like everything else in life, evolves. It doesn't disappear. It doesn't end with retirement or illness or age. It changes shape, changes texture. It becomes softer, deeper, quieter, and in many ways, even more beautiful. The friendships we form after 70 aren't about popularity contests or constant activity. They're about connection, about finding people who meet you where you are, who see you not just for who you were, but for who you are now, and who appreciate the wisdom, the patience, the kindness that only time can teach. Yes, some friendships fade. Some chapters close. But that isn't the end of the story. New circles can still be formed. New laughter can still echo through your days. New hands can still be held in understanding. New memories can still be made, not in spite of your age, but because of it. Today, let's talk about what really happens to friendships after 70, the losses, the lessons, and most importantly, the quiet, steady hope of building a new circle when you thought the circle had already closed. There's a strange ache that settles in when you realize a friend you once spoke with every day now feels like a distant memory. Sometimes it's a slow fading, like a sunset slipping below the horizon. Other times, it's sudden. A move, a loss, an illness, and the connection is cut so quickly it leaves you blinking in its absence. After 70, friendships change. Not because we love less, not because we stop caring, but because life in its quiet, relentless way rearranges the pieces on the board. One of the most common reasons friendships fade is simple geography. People move to be closer to family, to chase better weather, or to find a place where living is just a little easier. What was once a quick coffee becomes a long-distance phone call, and eventually, even the phone calls become less frequent. It's not that the bond disappears overnight, it's that maintaining it starts to take more effort than either side realizes until one day, silence fills the spaces where laughter used to be. Health plays a part too. As we age, our bodies sometimes conspire against us. Illness can make getting together harder, energy can wane, and suddenly the social calendar we once took for granted shrinks. Sometimes it's us, sometimes it's our friends. Either way, the result is the same. Fewer gatherings, fewer shared moments. And then there's the deepest loss of all, the one we rarely speak about but feel every day. Friends pass away. The longer we live, the more goodbyes we must say. Each one leaves an empty chair at the table, an empty space in the heart. Grief has a way of hollowing out even the sturdiest connections, making it harder to reach out, harder to start again. But beyond the practical reasons, there's a quieter shift at work, the one within ourselves. Our priorities change. The things we once bonded over, careers, raising families, chasing dreams, fade into the background. Without those common threads, conversations can feel harder to sustain. The friendships that were built on shared circumstances start to loosen when those circumstances disappear. It's easy to blame yourself when friendships fade, to wonder if you did enough, reached out enough, cared enough. But hear this, it's not your fault. This is the natural rhythm of life. Seasons come and go, and so do relationships. It doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you're unlovable. It simply means you're human. What matters is not clinging desperately to what's gone, but opening yourself, gently, patiently, to what could still be waiting. Because friendship doesn't have an expiration date, and though the faces around you may change, the need for connection remains. That's not something you outgrow. That's something you continue to deserve. There's a quiet wisdom that comes with years, a knowledge that more is not always better. In youth, we chase crowds. We collect friendships like badges, believing that popularity equals happiness. But after 70, the truth reveals itself. It's not the number of people around us that matters. It's the depth of the connection we share with them. Real friendship at this stage of life isn't about constant activity or endless phone calls. It's about trust, the kind built, not in a moment but over years of being there for each other. It's about patience, the willingness to sit in silence when words aren't needed, to understand that sometimes just being present is enough. Gone are the days when friendship meant fitting into someone else's schedule, or measuring loyalty by how often you heard from them. Now it's about knowing there's someone who sees you, really sees you, and accepts you, changes and all. It's about simplicity, a friend who remembers how you take your coffee, a friend who calls not to ask for anything but just to hear your voice, a friend who can laugh with you about old memories, or listen without judgment when you talk about the aches, the fears, the things you rarely say out loud. And it's about mutual respect. True friends in this season of life don't expect you to be anything but what you are. They don't pull you into drama, don't drain you with endless complaints. They bring peace, not pressure, comfort, not chaos. Sometimes real friendship also means letting go. There may be relationships that for years felt essential but now feel heavy. Maybe it's a friend who always needed more than they gave. Maybe it's someone whose negativity feels too loud in the quiet you've come to treasure. Letting go of these ties isn't cruel. It's an act of kindness, to yourself, and sometimes even to them. You see, friendship after 70 shifts from quantity to quality. It becomes less about how many birthday cards are on the mantle, and more about who you would call if the night grew dark and the road ahead felt lonely. And here's the beautiful part. Even one real friend, one person who walks beside you, without pretense, is enough. Enough to remind you that you are still seen, still valued, still connected. Friendship doesn't have to fade with age. It simply evolves, just as you have. It deepens, softens, grows quieter, but more true. And if you find yourself today with a smaller circle, take heart. It's not the size of the circle that counts. It's who's sitting inside it with you. There's a lie that sneaks its way into our minds as we grow older, that the best days of connection are behind us, that making new friends is something for the young. But the truth is, friendship doesn't expire with age. It simply requires a different kind of courage, and the courage to begin again. Building a new circle after 70 isn't about replacing what was lost. It's about opening your life to new possibilities, new conversations, new faces that might just become familiar and dear with time. And it starts always with permission. Permission to believe that your story isn't finished yet, and that it's never too late to invite someone new into it. It's easy to feel shy or hesitant. After all, the habits of solitude can grow comfortable, even when they grow lonely. But connection often begins with small, brave steps. Steps like joining a local book club, signing up for a community class, or attending gatherings at your local senior center. These aren't just activities, they're open doors. Consider what you love, what lights you up. Gardening, painting, writing, walking, singing, woodworking. Somewhere out there, others love those things too. Finding groups centered around these interests isn't just about filling your calendar. It's about filling your soul with the energy of shared passion. Volunteering can be another powerful pathway. Giving your time not only strengthens your sense of purpose, but also connects you with others who share your values. It's hard to feel isolated when you're standing shoulder to shoulder with people working toward something that matters. And don't overlook technology. Yes, it can feel daunting at first, But learning to use a smartphone, join a virtual class, or connect with a community online can open up worlds that geography might otherwise keep out of reach. Friendship now can be a phone call, a video chat, a shared laugh across the miles. Of course, not every encounter will bloom into deep friendship. Some will be pleasant but fleeting. That's okay. Every connection is a stitch in the larger fabric of community. Some threads will stay longer than others, and some may surprise you with their strength. Most importantly, remember that reaching out isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of hope. And hope, at any age, is a powerful thing. Building a new circle after 70 requires patience and vulnerability. But it also offers rewards uniquely sweet to those who have lived enough years to know what really matters. The friends you make now will see the person you are, not the title you held or the things you owned, but the wisdom you've gathered, the kindness you've carried, the stories etched into the lines of your face. New friendships are possible, not despite your age, but because of it, because you bring to the table a heart seasoned by time, capable of deeper connection than ever before. You are not starting from scratch. You are starting from strength. And in this new circle, whether it's one person or 5, you may just find that the best friendships are the ones still waiting for you. Friendships after 70 are not like the friendships of youth. They are quieter, deeper, more tender. They are built not on proximity or convenience, but on shared understanding, mutual respect, and a quiet appreciation for the moments that matter most. Yes, some friendships will fade. Some will be lost to distance, to time, to the inevitable turning of life's seasons. But that doesn't mean you are alone. It doesn't mean you are without the ability to connect. It doesn't mean your best days of companionship are behind you. What it means is that friendship, like life itself, is always evolving. And with that evolution comes the opportunity to form connections that are richer, more authentic, and more sustaining than ever before. You are not too old to make a new friend. You are not too late to build a new circle. You are not finished growing, not finished laughing, not finished sitting side by side with someone who understands. The heart never outgrows its need for connection. And the beauty of these later years is that you can choose, with all the wisdom and experience you've earned, who you welcome into your circle. Old roots still hold strong, and new branches can still grow. Some of the most meaningful friendships of your life may still be ahead of you. All you have to do is open the door in and step through.